Alright, trade recap on how I took 2 L's and hit a break even today. Really shitty day. Honestly, wasn't that bad. We took pretty decent trades. Good loss right here. Break even trade. You can't do much about that. And this one, it looks really shitty, I know, on NQ, but if you have the context as to why I took this trade, it seems a bit more reasonable. So I will determine if it was a shitty trade or not. Once I'm done with this recap, because I really do need to get an in-depth analysis of this one right here. Anyways, let's get straight into it. Let me get this stuff over with. Absolute bullshit, bro. And our draw was perfect today. The main draw was right here to these low resistance that we built right here, and we are smacking those right now after the market opened back up in the PM session. And yeah, just really unfortunate. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and review how I lost. All right, so let me just hide these drawings really quick. Okay, so this looks like very bearish structure in my eyes. We have this massive bearish gap right here. We also inversed on this 4 hour right there. So on the higher time frame, we do look mega bearish here. The only thing that's holding me bullish here on the higher time frame, at the 4 hour at least, are these equal highs, or not equal highs, sorry, these all-time highs, and then this low resistance, this trend line that we built right here, and then this trend line that we built right there. So that's the only reason why I would be considering to be bullish today. Everything else is telling me to be bearish, as just the 4 hour, okay? Nothing else. The hourly, there's nothing much we're rejecting off of here. Excuse me, there's no imbalances up here. Just looks really choppy. Let's go ahead and head to 9 a.m. Yeah, so just looks pretty bearish. But on ES, we are rejecting off this hourly, as you can see right there. Rejecting off this hourly as well as a 15-minute. Yep, that 15-minute right there. Same thing here on NQ. The only major time frame imbalance that we're rejecting off of is right here. Is this 15-minute? Nothing on the hourly or 4 hour, which I did not like. So it was still leaning bearish, but once I dropped down to the 15-minute time frame, that's when it told me everything I needed to know. Okay. So clearly rejecting off this level here. We come back down. We take this low, which is Asia low. Perfect 15-minute close right here. This is basically a 15-minute entry. But yeah, great rejection off that. And the thing that sealed the deal here was this SMT that we formed right here with ES, with these Asia lows. This is telling me that we are definitely going to be aiming higher. We have our manipulation being put in place. We have the SMT. We are bouncing off of this gap right there. Like, it's just everything you want to see. I'm pretty sure this is EQ of the range. I didn't even check this because I was just so confident that this is all we needed. Yeah, bounce off EQ right there. Yeah, this is perfect. So what I would want to see in market open is I don't want to see us come lower because there's nothing else to tap into. There's no unmitigated gaps here. So if we do come lower, most likely either not going to trade or I'm just going to lean with a bearish bias. But ideally we should have just ran up here. That's what I'm anticipating to happen. So I'm looking for a 5 or 15-minute pullback, and so we'll get straight into market open. We get a nice 5-minute entry here, rejecting off this discounted 5-minute gap right here, which is also a BPR. We end up inversing this 5-minute, giving a 5-minute entry, but that happened like at 9:20. Yeah, so I'm not obviously trading at this time. I trade after market open, so no need to look at that. Okay, so right when market open, we just immediately rip up and we take London. Okay, this was my main target. And yes, I said up here, these were my main targets. These are like my daily targets where I'm expecting to trade throughout the day, okay? In terms of if I take a trade, I'm just going to aim for this London high right here. You know, because if let's say we get a trade somewhere around here or whatever, take an entry, like all I need is like a good 1-to-1, 1.5, whatever it is. I don't need to aim all the way up here, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, this was my main target for the day. Just looking to get a piece of my pie, but fortunately we never gave an entry. We ended up smacking this, before retracing to a 5 or a 15 minute. Now, I think once, yeah, like here and like, yeah, right here. So, at this point, we already hit our main objective. Not the entire objective, it's still all the way up here, but this is the main one. So, we tap into this 5 minute here. Let me pull this back. We edged this other 5 minute, which is one thing I did not like about this. I did not like this at all. I would much rather see NQ just take this. I mean, we like literally a tick away from it. But we do fill this 5 minute here. On ES, we also fill this 5 minute. And at this point, just waiting for an entry. I did not really want to see one, for one, because we have this up here, this 5 minute that we edged. And then this gap is very close to this break-even point, and we are developing trend line as we speak. So want to see this trend line get developed and then manipulate lower to this 5 minute and then look for an entry there. So that's basically what I'm waiting for here. End up manipulating. At this point in time, we completely fill this 5 minute. Wow. Okay. All right. Yeah, my bad. We fill this 5 minute, and then on ES we inverse this 5 minute, which I did not like. But the main idea of this was that we tap into this 15 minute, right? So SMT off the 15 minute right there, and have a 1 minute entry right here. Now this is a great close, very solid entry. The only takeaway is that our stop loss is at an unmitigated 15 minute gap, which is not the ideal stop loss you want to have. It's very, very, whatever. But the main reason why I was still open to take it was strictly because we have that 15 minute SMT right here. This 15 minute that we have, not the newly generated one. So yeah, took this. This was a pretty good loss. Let's still take this 10 out of 10 times. One thing I failed to realize though was that yes, we had that 1 minute, but I didn't even notice this, dude, until I was like, bro, we have this 3 minute right here that I should have waited for. And I wasn't being impatient or anything. It was just I genuinely did not see this 3 minute, and it, like, bro, that was just some bullshit, dude. I think we ended up tapping it, and then we just run the stop loss. This was crazy. But yeah, if I were to have seen this, could have definitely avoided this 3 minute. That was just some bull crap, bro. But anyways, good loss here. That 3 minute was really, really small anyways, so I don't even know if I would have been that confident if we just inversed that tiny ass 3 minute. This 1 minute looks way cleaner. But yeah, good loss. And then we do end up manipulating lower into that newly formed 15 minute as well as this discounted 15 minute that we have. So yeah, 2 15 minutes got filled, and at this point on ES we just completely fill that 15 minute, which is great to see. And I think we probably even hit like equilibrium of this range. Let's check it out. Yeah, we hit EQ of that range. This is literally just perfect, bro. There's nothing much you can ask for. We have a 1 minute up here, which was the highest time frame was a 2 minute. And yeah, we took up 2 minute. We actually missed an entry. Okay, so this is the highest time frame leg, and I wasn't paying attention to this 30-second chart. And we had a 30-second around right here, which should have been the entry because it was the highest time frame of that leg. Because we don't. This is the leg we have here from the 1 minute and up. And on the 30-second, we had it high right here, so this was the leg and not this whole move. So yeah, very, very unfortunate. We could have got a banger trade here for about a 1 to 2R, but man, it just shit happens, bro. Either way, this was still a solid trade. We inverse on this 2 minute, and stops, of course, we're not all the way down here because that's going to be less than a 1 to 1R. It's bullshit RR, but yeah, stops right here was pretty decent. Let's see what we have backing it up. We have this 1 minute gap right here. As you know, there's 3 candles that involve a fair value gap, and on the very first candle out of the 3 is where our stop loss was, which is pretty decent. There's no gaps down here either way. So yeah, I thought this was pretty protected, and we should run this low resistance that we built up right here. Not much, but it's still a great DOL. especially with our main DOL being all the way up here, we're bound to take this out. So we'll break even at this 1 minute gap right here. Once we tap that, ended up getting break even. And then I saw this. I didn't want a revenge trade because we literally just came off of taking an L here, and then we just got break even. So I'm like, I don't want to do anything stupid. And I see this play right here. Now it's not really. I mean, it's a solid play. You would have to aim for a 1-to-1 strictly because of the RR, and tap that right there. But all we're rejecting off of is this 1 minute. There's not really anything on the 5 minute. We are rejecting off a 2 minute. Yes, that's pretty clean. Okay, that's 3 different time frame gaps we're rejecting off of. This low key was not a bad trade at all. Nothing on the 1 or the 5 or 4 minute, but 1, 2, and 3 minute we're rejecting off these gaps, and then we end up inversing this gap, which was previously holding for a couple minutes. So yeah, this was pretty solid. We ended up missing out on this, just considering we took a loss. And then at this point in time, I don't know what got into me, bro. I was supposed to leave and take a shit, and I was just sitting and watching the markets for a little longer. If I would have just left, took my shit, took a shower, went to the gym, could have avoided this. But one thing that caught my attention was this massive wick that we left here, rejecting off of these 2 imbalances. Nothing on the 5 minute. Once again, we do have this 5 minute order block getting tapped. Nothing on the 4. Nothing on. Okay, we're rejecting off this 3 minute right here. And we also are rejecting off this 2 minute. So again, 1, 2, and 3 minute getting rejected. And we get a 2 minute inverse. Yeah, we get that 2 minute inverse. Now I'm going to take this to ES because this was the main reason why I took this trade. Was because ES tapped into this 5 minute right here, essentially giving a continuation model because we inversed this gap and we tapped into this gap. And let's see, we don't have much of an inverse here. There's nothing to really inverse, but I mean, looking at the time frame or the candles, at least within this time range and not the rest, this looks like a very nice V shape that we're just going to be at least running up to this high right here. So since NQ already took the main, well, not the main DOL, but this drawn liquidity, which we were previously aiming for, I was mostly using ES as a target, just waiting till this high gets hit to take out. Obviously still aiming up here just because we are definitely coming closer, so not a bad target for about a 1-to-2, and it just turns to shit, bro. We end up coming down, we come back up, and I really could have left that break even here, but I was like, nah, I'm pretty confident. Like this V shape looks nice, and then run back up again, and then we eventually just get stopped. Now, honestly, okay. Honest review, this definitely should not have been a trade. I should have just got it out at break even, considering ES before we got stopped out. Let me see before we got stopped. Let me take it back a little bit. ES was doing this bullshit that it does. Stupid pattern trade bullshit. So I should have just taken out once it came back to break even off that second retrace back up to it, because at any point in time we could just fake out and run back up, or we could just do some bull crap. But I was leaning on the hope that I could make my money back, so low key kind of was a revenge trade if you ask me. Not a bad entry or a bad idea. I really liked this because ES tapped into a 5 minute, but seeing how we are just chopping within this range here, and this just looks like a lot. When you see something and you just know it's a loss. Like there's not much you can say why. Like we had all the confluence aligned. Everything was telling me that we should be going bullish. But when you just see it, there's just something in you that you just know it's a loss. I don't know how to explain that. Some weird phenomenon that goes within my mind. I don't know why, but seeing this, I knew it was gonna be a loss, bro. And I really wanted to make my money back, I guess, and I just stuck it. And really dumb decision by me. Took 2 L's today. Could have just, took the single L and been done for the day, but now we took 2 L's, which was very, very unfortunate. But hey, man, it is what it is. We learn from these mistakes. This was just, should have just got off, bro. We already hit this main target. Yeah, that was some bull crap. That's going to be it for the trade recap. I don't really want this to be too long, but I still want it to be informative, especially for when I look back at these, so I can actually journal correctly and see what went wrong. So let me just review this real quick and see what else. I mean, we tapped into imbalances. We got the inverse. Pretty nice. We still have these this drawn liquidity intact. Yeah, it's just seeing how ES is chopping right here and literally making that little breakout strategy kind of thing. I don't even know what strat this is, bro, but this should be working, dude. Yeah, we just manipulate and then run up higher. This is our final manipulation. And then we just run that crap. I also figured, okay, this is another thing. I figured once we came back down here, ran back up, and then when we came back down, you know, we're building very smooth trend line right here. Like, look at this. This is very smooth. And it's like, I'm so confident that we're going to run it. But I should have just known that we would have manipulated. My stop loss would have been like point of manipulation, which it was. We manipulated down here, filled this gap right there, and then manipulated up here. And I really could have taken this because this looked very solid, but stuck to my rules. 2 losses a day, I'm done. Since I did take a loss and hit a break even, it was not against my rules to take another trade, okay? I could still be open to take a trade, but it just wasn't a smart play. I should have just got off at this point. And I'm running that. Yeah, that's basically the day for today. We missed out on a banger here, this re-entry banger, and we ended up taking a loss here, break even and a loss. That's some actual bullshit, bro. I'm done. Yeah, that's gonna be it for the trade recap. Hopefully I can learn something from this when I rewatch this sometime in the future. I guess the only thing that I can learn from this is just don't take a stupid ass trade. This trade was pretty good loss. This one was just a break even, and yeah, just a shitty loss that definitely could have been avoided, or even I could have just avoided it after I took the trade, just getting out right here after seeing ES do that. But pretty much just repeating myself at this point, so yeah, I'm gonna end that right here. Yeah, peace.